Welcome back to our channel. Please like, subscribe and share for more of our videos. Sit back and enjoy today's video. Thank you. Abraham and Sarah, Genesis chapter 12 to 22. Abram was sad because he and his wife Sarai had no children. Then the Lord said to Abram, "Leave your country, your relatives and your father's family. Go to the land I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you. I will make you famous, and you will be a blessing to others. I will bless those who bless you. I will place a curse on those who harm you, and all the people on earth will be blessed through you." So Abram left Haran as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. At this time Abram was 75 years old. Abram took his wife Sarai, his nephew Lot, and everything they owned. They took all the servants they had gained in Haran. They set out from Haran, planning to go to the land of Canaan. In time they arrived there. Abram traveled through that land. He went as far as the great tree of Moreh at Shechem. The Canaanites were living in the land at that time. The Lord appeared to Abram. The Lord said, "I will give this land to your descendants." So Abram built an altar there to the Lord, who had appeared to him. Then Abram traveled from Shechem to mountain east of Bethel, and he set up his tent there. Bethel was to the west, and Ai was to the east. There Abram built another altar to the Lord and worshipped him. After this, he traveled on towards southern Canaan. At this time, there was not much food in the land. So Abram went down to Egypt to live because there was so little food. Just before they arrived in Egypt, Abram said to his wife Sarai, "I know you are a very beautiful woman. When the Egyptians see you, they will say, 'This woman is his wife.' Then they will kill me, but let you live. Tell them you are my sister. Then things will go well with me, and I may be allowed to live because of you." So Abram went into Egypt. The people of Egypt saw that Sarai was very beautiful. Some of the Egyptian officers saw her also. They told the king of Egypt how beautiful she was. They took her to the king's palace. The king was kind to Abram because he thought Abram was Sarai's brother. He gave Abram sheep, cattle, and male and female donkeys. Abram was also given male and female servants and camels. But the Lord sent terrible diseases on the king and all the people in his house. This was because of Abram's wife Sarai. So the king sent for Abram. The king said, "What have you done to me? Why didn't you tell me Sarai was your wife? Why did you say, 'She is my sister'? I made her my wife. But now here is your wife. Take her and leave." Then the king commanded his men to make Abram leave Egypt. So Abram and his wife left with everything they owned. So Abram, his wife and Lot left Egypt. They took everything they owned and traveled to southern Canaan. Abram was very rich in cattle, silver and gold. He left southern Canaan and went back to Bethel. He went where he had camped before, between Bethel and Ai. It was the place where Abram had built an altar before. So he worshipped the Lord there. During this time, Lot was traveling with Abram. Lot also had many sheep, cattle, and tents. Abram and Lot had so many animals that the land could not support both of them together. Abram's herders and Lot's herders began to argue. The Canaanites and the Perizzites were living in the land at this time. So Abram said to Lot, "There should be no arguing between you and me. Your herders and mine should not either. We are brothers. We should separate. The whole land is there in front of you. If you go to the left, I will go to the right. If you go to the right, I will go to the left." Lot looked all around and saw the whole Jordan Valley. He saw that there was much water there. It was like the Lord's garden, like the land of Egypt in the direction of Zoar. This was before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. So Lot chose to move east and live in the Jordan Valley. In this way, Abram and Lot separated. Abram lived in the land of Canaan, but Lot lived among the cities of the Jordan Valley. He moved very near to Sodom. Now the people of Sodom were very evil. They were always sinning against the Lord. After Lot left, the Lord said to Abram, "Look all around you. Look north and south and east and west. All this land that you see, I will give to you and your descendants forever. I will make your descendants as many as the dust of the earth. If anyone could count the dust on the earth, he could count your people. Get up, walk through all this land I am now giving to you." So Abram moved his tents. He went to live near the great trees on Mamre. This was at the city of Hebron. There he built an altar to the Lord. Then there was a war among the kings of the nations where Lot lived. One of the kings and his armies took everything the people of Sodom and Gomorrah owned. They also took all their food. They took Lot, Abram's nephew, who was living in Sodom. The enemies also took everything he owned. Then they left. One of the men who was not captured went to Abram and told him what had happened. Abram learned that Lot had been captured. So he called out his 318 trained men who had been born in his camp. After defeating all the kings and enemies, Abram brought back everything the enemies had stolen. And he also brought back Lot and everything Lot owned. Then Abram went home. After these things happened, the Lord spoke his word to Abram in a vision. God said, "Abram, don't be afraid. I will defend you, and I will give you a great reward." But Abram said, "Lord God, what can you give me? I have no son. So my slave Eliezer from Damascus will get everything I own after I die." Abram said, "Look, you have given me no son, so a slave born in my house will inherit everything I have." Then the Lord spoke his word to Abram. He said, "That slave will not be the one to inherit what you have. You will have a son of your own, and your son will inherit what you have." Then God led Abram outside. God said, "Look at the sky. There are so many stars you cannot count them, and your descendants will be too many to count." Abram believed the Lord, and the Lord accepted Abram's faith, and that faith made him acceptable to God. God said to Abram, "I am the Lord who led you out of Babylonia. I did that so I could give you this land to own." But Abram said, "Lord God, how can I be sure that I will own this land?" The Lord said to Abram, "Bring me a 3-year-old cow, a 3-year-old goat, and a 3-year-old male sheep. Also bring me a dove and a young pigeon." Abram brought them all to God. Then Abram killed the animals and cut each of them into 2 pieces. He laid each half opposite the other half, but he did not cut the birds in half. Later, large birds flew down to eat the animals, but Abram chased them away. As the sun was going down, Abram fell into a deep sleep. While he was asleep, a very terrible darkness came. Then the Lord said to Abram, "You can be sure that your descendants will be strangers and travel in a land they don't own. The people there will make them slaves, and they will do cruel things to them for 400 years. But I will punish the nation where they are slaves. Then your descendants will leave that land, taking great wealth with them. Abram, you will live to be very old. You will die in peace and will be buried. After your great-grandchildren are born, your people will come to this land again. It will take that long because the Amorites are not yet evil enough to punish." The sun went down, and it was very dark. Suddenly, a smoking firepot and a blazing torch passed between the halves of the dead animals. So on that day, the Lord made an agreement with Abram. The Lord said, "I will give this land to your descendants. I will give them the land between the river of Egypt and the great river Euphrates." When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him. The Lord said, "I am God all-powerful. Obey me and do what is right. I will make an agreement between us. I will make you the ancestor of many people." Then Abraham bowed face down on the ground. God said to him, "I am making my agreement with you. I will make you the father of many nations. I am changing your name from Abram to Abraham. This is because I am making you a father of many nations. I will give you many descendants. New nations will be born from you. Kings will come from you. And I will make an agreement between me and you and all your descendants from now on. I will be your God and the God of all your descendants. You live in the land of Canaan now as a stranger, but I will give you and your descendants all this land forever, and I will be the God of your descendants." Then God said to Abraham, "You and your descendants must keep this agreement from now on. This is my agreement with you and all your descendants. Every male among you must be circumcised. You must obey this agreement. Cut away the foreskin to show that you follow the agreement between me and you. From now on, when a baby boy is 8 days old, you will circumcise him. This includes any boy born among your people or any who is your slave. He would not be one of your descendants. So, circumcise every baby boy. Circumcise him whether he is born in your family or bought as a slave. Your bodies will be marked. This will show that you are part of my agreement that lasts forever. Any male who is not circumcised will be separated from his people. He has broken my agreement." God said to Abraham, "I will change the name of Sarai, your wife. Her new name will be Sarah. I will bless her. I would give her a son, and you will be the father. She will be the mother of many nations. Kings of nations will come from her." Abraham bowed face down on the ground and laughed. He said to himself, "Can a man have a child when he is 100 years old? Can Sarah give birth to a child when she is 90? Then Abraham said to God, "Please let Ishmael be the son you promised." God said, "No, Sarah, your wife will have a son, and you will name him Isaac, which means laughter. I will make my agreement with him. It will be an agreement that continues forever with all his descendants. You asked me about Ishmael, and I heard you. I will bless him. I will give him many descendants, and I will cause their numbers to grow very greatly. He will be the father of 12 great leaders. I will make him into a great nation. But I will make my agreement with Isaac. He is the son whom Sarah will have at this same time next year." After God finished talking with Abraham, God rose and left him. Then Abraham gathered Ishmael and all the males born in his camp. He also gathered the slaves he had bought. So that day, Abraham circumcised every man and boy in his camp. This was what God had told him to do. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised. And Ishmael, his son, was 13 years old when he was circumcised. Abraham and his son were circumcised on that same day. Also, on that day, all the men in Abraham's camp were circumcised. This included all those born in his camp, and all the slaves he had bought from other nations. Later, the Lord again appeared to Abraham near the great trees of Mamre. At that time, Abraham was sitting at the door of his tent. It was during the hottest part of the day. He looked up and saw 3 men standing near him. When Abraham saw them, he ran from his tent to meet them. He bowed his face down on the ground before them. Abraham said, "Sir, if you think well of me, please stay a while with me, your servant. I will bring some water so all of you can wash your feet. You may rest under the tree. I will get some bread for you so you can regain your strength. Then you may continue your journey." The 3 men said, "That is fine. Do as you said." Abraham hurried to the tent where Sarah was. He said to her, "Hurry, prepare 22 liters of fine flour, make it into loaves of bread." Then Abraham ran to his cattle. He took one of his best calves and gave it to a servant. The servant hurried to kill the calf and to prepare it for food. Abraham gave the 3 men the calf that had been cooked. He also gave them milk curds and milk. While the 3 men ate, he stood under the tree near them. The men asked Abraham, "Where is your wife, Sarah?" "There in the tent," said Abraham. Then the Lord said, "I will certainly return to you about this time a year from now. At that time your wife Sarah will have a son." Sarah was listening at the entrance of the tent which was behind him. Abraham and Sarah were very old. Sarah was past the age when women normally had children. So she laughed to herself, "My husband and I are too old to have a baby." Then the Lord said to Abraham, "Why did Sarah laugh? Why did she say, 'I am too old to have a baby'? Is anything too hard for the Lord? No, I will return to you at the right time a year from now, and Sarah will have a son." Sarah was afraid. So she lied and said, "I didn't laugh." But the Lord said, "No, you did laugh." Then the men got up to leave and started out towards Sodom. Abraham walked along with them a short time to send them on their way. The Lord said, "Should I tell Abraham what I'm going to do now? Abraham's children will certainly become a great and powerful nation, and all nations on earth will be blessed through him. I have chosen him so he would command his children and his descendants to live the way the Lord wants them to. I did this so they would live right and be fair. Then I, the Lord, will give Abraham what I promised him." Then the Lord said, "I have heard many things against the people of Sodom and Gomorrah. They are very evil, so I will go down and see if they are as bad as I have heard." So the men turned and went towards Sodom, but Abraham stood there before the Lord. Then Abraham approached the Lord. Abraham asked, "Lord, do you plan to destroy the good people along with the evil people? What if there are 50 good people in that city? Will you still destroy it? Surely you will save the city for the 50 good people living there. Surely you will not destroy the good people along with the evil people. Then the good people and the evil people would be treated the same. You are the judge of all the earth. Won't you do what is right?" Then the Lord said, "If I find 50 good people in the city of Sodom, I will save the whole city because of them." Then Abraham said, "I am only dust and ashes. Yet I have been brave to speak to the Lord. What if there are only 45 good people in the city? Will you destroy the whole city for the lack of 5 good people?" The Lord said, "If I find 45 good people there, I will not destroy the city." Again, Abraham said to the Lord, "If you find only 40 good people there, will you destroy the city?" The Lord said, "If I find 40 good people, I will not destroy the city." Then Abraham said, "Lord, please don't be angry with me. Let me ask you this. If you find only 30 good people in the city, will you destroy it?" The Lord said, "If I find 30 good people there, I will not destroy the city." Then Abraham said, "I have been brave to speak to the Lord, but what if there are 20 good people in the city?" The Lord answered, "If I find 20 good people there, I will not destroy the city." Then Abraham said, "Lord, please don't be angry with me. Let me bother you this one last time. What if you find 10 good people there?" The Lord said, "If I find 10 good people there, I will not destroy it." When the Lord finished speaking to Abraham, he left, and Abraham returned home. The Lord cared for Sarah as he had said. He did for her what he had promised. Sarah became pregnant, and she gave birth to a son for Abraham in his old age. Everything happened at the time God had said it would. Abraham named his son Isaac. Sarah gave birth to this son of Abraham. Abraham circumcised Isaac when he was 8 days old, as God had commanded. Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born, and Sarah said, "God has made me laugh. Everyone who hears about this will laugh with me. No one thought I would be able to give birth to Abraham's child, but I have given Abraham a son while he is old." After these things, God tested Abraham's faith. God said to him, "Abraham," and he answered, "Here I am." Then God said, "Take your only son Isaac, the son you love. Go to the land of Moriah. There, kill him and offer him as a whole burnt offering. Do this on one of the mountains there. I will tell you which one." Early in the morning, Abraham got up and saddled his donkey. He took Isaac and 2 servants with him. He cut the wood for the sacrifice. Then they went to the place God had told them to go. On the 3rd day, Abraham looked up and saw the place in the distance. He said to the servants, "Stay here with the donkey. My son and I will go over there and worship. Then we will come back to you." Abraham took the wood for the sacrifice and gave it to his son to carry. Abraham took the sword and the fire. So Abraham and his son went on together. Isaac said to his father Abraham, "Father!" Abraham answered, "Yes, my son." Isaac said, "We have the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb we will burn as a sacrifice?" Abraham answered, "God will give us the lamb for the sacrifice, my son." So Abraham and his son went on together. They came to the place God had told him about. There, Abraham built an altar. He laid the wood on it. Then he tied up his son Isaac, and he laid Isaac on the wood on the altar. Then Abraham took his sword and was about to sacrifice his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven. The angel said, "Abraham, Abraham!" Abraham answered, "Yes." The angel said, "Don't sacrifice your son or hurt him in any way. Now I can see that you respect God. I see that you have not kept your son, your only son, from me." Then Abraham looked up and saw a male sheep. Its horns were caught in a bush. So Abraham went and took the sheep and sacrificed it. He offered it as a whole burnt offering to God. Abraham's son was saved. So Abraham named that place "The Lord Gives." Even today, people say, "On the mountain of the Lord, it will be given." The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a 2nd time. The angel said, "The Lord says, you did not keep back your son, your only son, from me. Because you did this, I make you this promise by my own name. I will surely bless you and give you many descendants. They will be as many as the stars in the sky and the sand of the seashore, and they will capture the cities of their enemies. Through your descendants, all the nations on earth will be blessed. This is because you obeyed me." Then Abraham returned to his servants. They all traveled back to Beersheba, and Abraham stayed there. I wonder, what was the ultimate test of Abraham's faith and his response to it? Did you guess right? Abraham obeyed God and prepared to sacrifice Isaac, but God intervened mercifully. Thank you for watching. To see more of our videos, please like, subscribe and share. See you next time. Bye for now.